Crossing tram lines can be a little bit tricky at the best of times on a bike, and thankfully I only have to do this really once going to work in the city. And this is where I'm coming out of Bridge Street and I'm turning right into George Street. And what I've shown here is just an overhead Google Images view. And what you really have to do when you're crossing the lines is to cross them as perpendicular as humanly possible. If you get a bit of an angle, then there's a risk of either sliding out on the metal of the tram line, which is obviously buried into the pavement, or even worse, getting a wheel caught in the tram line itself. Either way, you're going to go down, and the last thing you want to go down is with traffic coming up behind you fairly quickly. So this red line shows how I turn right into George Street. That what I do is go as perpendicular as possible across both sets of tram lines and then hang a hard right to turn right. If you try and take the green line, then you're going to end up in a lot of trouble because especially if it's wet, you're going to slide out on one or the other. Now let's just have a look at what a couple of idiot drivers did to me this week as I was trying to do this. And look, remember, I've been doing this now as long as the light rail's been under construction for. This has been, it's at least a year or two. And yeah, I got a bit of a surprise the other day. And here's the surprise: I had this dimwit try and overtake me as I was turning right. This guy's obviously in plenty of a hurry, and he's actually driven into the tram track area. You can see coming along here, there's a yellow rumble strip, and he's on the wrong side of it. You see there under his driver's side wheel, he's over that side. Yeah, that's not real sensible. That ripple strip's there for a reason. I wasn't quite sure whether they were going to slow down and let me in, but they did. Maybe they were only slowed down because they were stuck on the wrong side of that strip. I don't know. But they tried to cut the corner, and they weren't the only driver that tried to cut this corner. There was a driver up in front that tried to get in front of another car that was actually turning right as well. And of course, what did they want to do? They just wanted to get down to there and turn left. Yeah, all that hassle just for that. So here's the front view. Now watch what this van does. They actually stay in the lane. There's still some paint markings on the road, and somehow they manage to stay in the lane. And you can see what I'm trying to do here is I'm actually turning left a little bit to try and go over perpendicular. And yep, there they are out there in the tram tracks. What a doofus! And you can clearly see the ripple strip stuff along there. And I thought for a moment I was going to have to bang on their door to anyway, watch the car up in front. See the white car overtaking the other white car. Maybe they were a bit upset, they were a bit slow going around the corner. I didn't particularly think so. But then they discover, okay, actually, I'm not supposed to be doing that, and they slow down and they let them in. Now that's the first time I've ever seen corner cutting happening here like this. It's pretty interesting. I don't know if it's just because of the the light rail opening up, but almost every driver I've ever gone round here in the past, since these lines went in, has managed to do this without any trouble. This is the first two morons that I've seen in a hurry trying to do this.